Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am your host, JT. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, as well as the Facebook page and YouTube channel of the Virtual Cantina Network. We are at those locations every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you would like to get some awesome Virtual Cantina Network swag, just go to tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. And for customizable Nerf Herder Council swag, just go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. As always, guys, the views of the Nerf Herder Council do not necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network, and there could be some bad language in our episode. So if you're not into that type of thing, just click the little X button and jump out now. So yeah, we have foul mouths. Sorry. So in any case, without further ado, let's bring on the king of punctuality himself. It is my brother AJ. Man, you just really, less than 10.
You say that as a joke. But I signed on right at 8 p.m. The graphics are done, and I'm here. That's punctual.
No, that's not. That's unprofessional is what that is. But, hey, I'm thankful for punctuality. So let's start there.
I mean, I could always sign off and back on again if you really want it to be later. I could do that.
Well, look, man, if you're going to show up 10 seconds before we start, I'm going to give you shit. I'm allowed to. Oh, man. So what's going on, man? How's it going?
Dude, it feels like it's been a month since I've seen you.
Right? And we've both had ear infections in that time. So
oh yeah, I've still got it. I'm getting half volume out of you, but hey, it's all right.
Yeah. It's bad if you're only getting half volume from me.
It's true. That's really true.
It's pretty ugly. So yeah, so Joseph Wren, good to see you, bro. He says, every fall I make limoncello. Tonight is the night. How was Wolfie last night? Limoncello rules. Like, I gotta do that. Yeah, Wolfie was next level. That was one of the best concerts I've ever been to personally. So he's talking about Wolfgang Van Halen. AJ and I and several of our friends went to see Mammoth last night at the Agora here in Cleveland, and it was just it was next level good. So that was just an awesome time. So yeah, what did you think? I know we didn't get to talk too much after the show.
Oh, fantastic show. I mean, I love seeing that guy all the time. I just love that this is really not on point for the podcast, but I love that all songs are on the table. Like it's I heard stuff I never heard him play before, and I really appreciate that. I hate those bands that you go to and you always hear the same set list. Like you just predict, oh, they're going to open with this. This is their closer. This is their false encore. This is their real encore. Yada yada yada. Like Megadeth.
Yep. Oh, dude. Yeah, Megadeth is the. I mean, they might swap out like 2 or 3 songs here or there, but it's nothing. Yeah, but I completely agree with you. It's just he's willing to play anything. He likes to, kind of mix it up. And dude, I was really proud for my friend Wayne Joyner, who did the awesome video work. And it was just it's kind of cool to have like a personal connection to the show like that. So yeah, just an awesome night. So it was really, really cool. So
I had so much fun. I'm still wearing the shirt.
I had to buy my wife 2 shirts.
Really?
Miranda, great to see you. What's with all the ats? Why are we all on? Is this like a new thing on StreamYard where it's showing? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Miranda says, kind of punctuality. Nick Hall.
Being on time is being on time.
Nick says, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Well, see, the way words work is the word means that word. So if you're early, you're not on time. You're early. That's why they call it early.
Well, if your co-host is wondering if you remembered whether or not we had a show, that's not good.
Well, that just proves we need to work on our communication then.
Well, I try to communicate and say it again on a few minutes early, but it doesn't work. So, hey-o, there we go. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so there's been some other shows on the VCN, for the month of Thanksgiving that are doing movies they are thankful for. So they've had watch-alongs and stuff like that. So we kind of thought that we would have our own little episode of movies we are thankful for. And AJ picked a movie. I picked a movie, and I have a little honorable mention for the end of the show that I really need to bring up. But yeah, we each picked a movie. Mine was difficult because I feel like I forgot a movie that I really, really love, and I can't think of what it is. But I know the one I chose, I definitely love and am hugely thankful for. So I think I made a good choice, and I know AJ is happy with his. So, why don't we start out, AJ? Why don't we start out with yours and talk a little bit about why you chose it?
All right. Well, this one will probably come as no surprise for anyone who knows me, but it's one that we never talk about. And I don't know when we ever would talk about it. So I figured this was the show that if I'm ever going to get a chance to talk about the Lego movie, this is the time. It's one of those movies where, like, one, it's endlessly rewatchable, but also, I hate to say it, but I kind of like forget about it. And then we were out with some friends of ours from the gym that I go to. Was it last Friday, I think, or anyway, recently, and the bar that we were at had it playing in the background, and I was instantly lost. Like, I'm glad everybody else is having a good time. I was just watching the damn movie. It was just, even in a crowded, noisy bar, like, I know every line by heart, and it gets me every damn time, and the whole father-son story, and just all the positive vibes of Lego in general. I'm obviously, a huge Lego fan, so
Yep.
That movie, I was like, how do you make a whole feature-length movie out of Lego and have it not be ridiculous and only for kids? And I was so wrong. Wrong. Like, I love this thing so much. You've seen it a bunch of times too, right?
I just almost finished watching it for like the third time. I hadn't seen it in a while. So when you brought it up, I was like, I better rewatch this. And when you mentioned that was going to be your choice, of course I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay. And I had forgot. I knew that it wasn't just a kids movie, but I had forgotten how intelligent some of the writing really is. I think it definitely goes unsaid about that movie that, because everyone's like, oh, the effects are great and it's not just a kids movie, so the humor's there and everything. But it's like, it's really well done and extremely smart, I think, which is, it's got a great message to it, and all the stupid weapons and stuff like that, like the sword of exact zero and all that kind of stuff, like the Kraggle's the main weapon, and yeah, dude, it's I can completely understand why you love that movie so much.
Yeah, there's just enough jokes and whatnot in there that are, like you said, not for the kids. Like when Emmett gets picked up by the police and says, "You were caught convulsing with a strange piece." Ew, that's gross. Like,
yeah, right.
Grown-ups get it.
Yep.
So,
right. Yeah,
they worked in all the wordplay of like Lego terminology and stuff, like master builder, which is what they call the people at like the Legoland parks, for example, that do all the giant sculptures out of Lego and everything.
Yep.
So to work that in, like have piece numbers flashing up as how they see the world and everything, like a whole ton of like in jokes that only like the super Lego nerds would get. But for the general audience, it's still like, that's funny. Okay, I guess that's what they call it. So, Brian Norton chiming in.
Look at Norton. Are you kidding me? Sorry. He says, sorry, boys, can't concentrate on you guys tonight. CMAs opened with a blast. Loves y'all. Norton. Brian, seriously, the Country Music Awards, get out of here. You're going to hear about this when I see you next. That's shameful. But I love you too, brother. It's a good friend of ours from Lima area. So, yeah, dude, I like the whole piece number thing was hilarious to me. Because when it like shows like the 4-digit code and everything, Steph was like, "What the heck is that?" I said, "Dude, it's got to be the piece number. It's got to be like." Yeah. And they're like, "I need a 4x pink or whatever." Like, look at this idiot. Billy Morris chiming in. David Lee Roth rules, except for that he doesn't. He's absolutely.
Is that kind of trolling?
Sure, of course it does. Kale McLeish, good to see you, man. He says, hey, guys, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're having a good day. Can't stay long due to a bit of a courier mission, but love you guys. Love you too, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oof. Don't talk to me about courier missions. I've been playing through Hollow Knight Silk Song, and a lot of the optional side missions are courier stuff, and they're basically speed runs that take forever, and if you take damage along the way, then what you're carrying gets destroyed, so you have to go all the way back to the start and do it all over again, and it's just so tedious. So tedious.
Billy trying to troll me saying Dream Theater sucks. Well, that's your
I'm your co-host, and I'll say that, but even I can't stand behind that. I don't like them, but they don't suck. They're way too good at what they do.
Yes. All right, so back on topic. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the piece number thing was hilarious, and I knew the Master Builder thing. Yeah, it's just like I said, I don't know all of the in jokes, but I knew they were there. Like things where I'm like, that's got to be like a Lego joke. So I figured, that would be one of the reasons that you love it. And again, I think it's just fun. And I think another thing that helps it out is the unbelievable voice cast.
Yeah.
President Business is Will Ferrell, and Chris Pratt is Emmett, and they got Elizabeth Banks as
Wild Style.
Wild Style, that's right. And then they've got Morgan Freeman. They've got
Are you
Liam
a DJ?
Neeson.
I love that.
Right?
No, my name is Wild Style. Are you a DJ?
Yeah, are you a DJ? But we have to talk about the best character in the whole thing. It's the spaceman guy.
Okay. I thought you were going to go with Benny, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Oh, so that's his name, Benny?
Charlie Day. Charlie Day is Benny.
Oh, is it? Dude. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this movie was ahead of its time. You talk about like these animated movies where they get this like A-list talent to be the voice cast. Like people couldn't believe all the famous people, like Jack Black and Chris Pratt were doing the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like this thing came out in 2014 and they did it first. So
yeah. Well, and it adds gravitas. Like it I think it adds to the humor. Once you realize who's doing it, it's because you're listening to what's his name, Vitruvius, is that it?
Vitruvius, yep.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, that's Morgan Freeman, and he's saying all this goofy shit, and then Liam Neeson is bad cop, and you're like, oh dude, seriously? I mean, it's just so silly, but I think to hear all those famous people saying those crazy lines is just like, I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, it really is funny. It adds to it. So, and like I said, it's just fun. I mean, all throughout.
Yeah, and you get the whole family connection where, we're of the age now where we grew up playing with Lego in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, it's been part of our lives the whole time. So we remember being the kid playing in the basement. We did that all the time. And then now we're the grownups, and I know myself with all this stuff back here. Like, if you just hand me like a pile of Lego and say, go have fun, I'll be like, what do I do with it? Like,
yeah,
it builds a thing, right? Like, tell me what the thing is. Give me the instructions. It can only be one thing. And then like, yeah, so having both perspectives on that and like having the family come together over it is like, I think it's a great message. And that's how you appeal to the broadest audience is you got both perspectives in there. So the kids totally understand one side and the grownups probably understand both. And that's what gets me every time is when like, the big impassioned speech goes on at the end with Emmett and he's talking about how, look at all the amazing things people do with this stuff and all. And by the way, those are real fan films. Those were actually like taken from the internet and the creators are given credit. That's just like stuff they pulled from YouTube or whatever.
Really?
So yeah, that was
oh, that's
legit.
Awesome.
Like it chokes me up every damn time when I'm like, yeah, like I remember what it felt like as a kid, like just invent stuff and just play around and let my imagination run wild. And like that's the coolest thing about being a kid is having all that going on. So then to like hear it in a movie and just be reminded of that as a grown up when I feel more days like Lord Business than I do like Emmett. And it just gets me every time to be like, yeah, like you always want to like be if you're the one in charge, like we are now as grownups, you want to make sure that kids have that and get to experience that part of their life and just like not worry about all the crap that goes on in adulthood yet,
Yeah. Well,
so,
I mean,
yeah, every time. And Chris Pratt, of course, has that perfect delivery to deliver the speech with too. It's like, damn it.
Right. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think that's another standout is, the messaging. It's, it's very, it's I don't know how to describe it because like they don't beat you upside the head with it, but it's very obvious. Because you're busy having a fun time watching Legos go around, all the crazy shit happening, and like we said, the goofy weapon names and all that, and all this stuff. But then it's like when you stop to think about it for a minute, you're like, this is like really, really well done. Like it's, it's in the kid's imagination and stuff like that, and like you said, it's the adult outlook versus the kid outlook, and I just think it's so very, very, I guess poignant would be the word.
Yeah,
because it's like it's deeper than it would seem. So I think it's just really, really good because it just works on pretty much every level it shoots for. It's fun, but it's got a really cool message. Several of them actually. It's funny, but it's got a lot of heart to it. It's just extremely well done, and I was kind of like you, like when they announced it, I remember we had seen trailers. I forget what we were watching, but we had seen trailers for it in the theater, and we're like, what the hell? How are they going to make a whole movie about Legos? And then, it comes out and we watched it and it was like, oh, that's how, okay. Like, and, it's, the first of many, but I mean, it's the humor is just awesome. I mean, do you think they could ever make a bad Lego movie style product, even if it's like a short or it's not that great? Like, you can't help but laugh at that stuff.
Right. It's so goofy. It's so goofy. I love it.
And isn't that kind of like in a way like when we were kids, like you kind of picture it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take like that's why I love you said his name is Benny, the space guy,
spaceman. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I loved him. I mean, that was my character. I loved the space guys, and the big spaceship was the one I never got as a kid because Dad had bought it for me for Christmas, and he had asked me to go up in their linen closet in the bedroom, and I couldn't find what he was looking for, so I was looking up on their shelves, and when I moved something, that Lego set was sitting there. And I don't know how he found out that I saw it, but I wasn't looking for it. But he thought I was, when he wasn't around, looking for Christmas presents, and I wasn't. So he took it back, and I never got it.
How have I never heard this story before? I had no idea.
Yeah, I was.
Oh my God.
I was so heartbroken, dude. I wanted that thing forever, and it was like God, if I saw a picture of it, I could bring it up, but I don't remember which set it was. But I know it was pretty decently sized. I mean, now it wouldn't be anything huge, but back then it was a big one. And yeah, and I loved the space guys because I loved the spaceships and stuff. So Benny to me was, it's my favorite in the movie because of that. But also, how can you beat the scene where he finally they tell him, okay, build a spaceship, and all he's doing for the next 5 minutes, spaceship,
yeah,
spaceship. Like that
exactly.
was so great, man. And that's how I kind of felt, when I was building spaceships or something, as a kid with the Legos and whatnot. So
yeah, it was such a great payoff. And I love, like, again, speaking of in jokes, but you remember they're going around and introducing that there's all these different, they call them worlds, I think, where you had like medieval and all this other stuff. And they quick smash cut past a couple of like really old failed themes, like Fabuland, where it was this weird like anthropomorphic animal characters that were like Duplo size instead of minifigure size and stuff like that. Right. So they just like throw in this little throwaway thing, like, yeah, we know some people are going to get this, some people are not. That's fine. And then the Star Wars jokes. I mean, when the Millennium Falcon showed up, come on.
Oh
now.
yeah.
How amazing was that? And
speaking of voice actors, they got Anthony Daniels and Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was like, okay, like, and and you love that, especially as a Star Wars fan, because you're like, okay, what won't Anthony Daniels do that's C-3PO related?
Right.
Yeah. So
we've joked about that before, though. He's that one guy that, like, if there's ever a C-3PO role, he's like, it's mine. I'm doing it. That dude will not share that role with anybody.
I love that.
Which is kind of endearing, but also kind of like, geez, man.
see, I like that. I just, because I mean, you want your character to be your character. You want your favorite characters to be your favorite characters. Like when the voice turns out different, you're kind of like, well, that's not them. Like, by the way, Joseph Friend says, Space Guys good, Space Whales bad, Space Cowboys amazing. JT 2025. Nice.
He's not wrong.
No. But yeah, it's like if it was a different voice, it would be kind of strange. That's why one of my favorite things about the Indiana Jones video game that I've been playing is the guy who voices him sounds like identical. If you were to close if you didn't know it was a different guy and you closed your eyes and said, okay, listen to this, who is this? You'd be like, oh, that's Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. But it's not. It's a guy that sounds exactly like him. So
I was just gonna say sometimes, and we saw it in things like A Dial of Destiny, where you can't get young man voice out of an older guy. So sometimes, now fortunately in Anthony Daniels' case, his voice hasn't changed. So I don't have a problem, from 1977 C-3PO to, whatever last thing he showed up in, which was I think Ahsoka probably.
Yeah.
He still sounds the same. That's fine. But in general, yeah, it's okay to, other people can do the voice sometimes. It does work out that way. But yeah, I love Lando's line. Like, are we in space? Because I see a heavenly body.
It was such a Lando line, man. I'm trying to look up all the goofy. Yeah, okay. Dude, these weapon names are so great. Obviously, there's the Craggle, which, by the way, huge shout out to them for calling it the Craggle, not the Craggle. Because I thought about it and I'm like, dude, that actually kind of would have sounded like Crazy Glue.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lever, good to see you, man. Says, thanks for ruining that for me, bro. What the hell did I ruin? This is a spoilerific show, man.
I didn't know we had to call spoilers on stuff like this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we have the sword of exact zero, the exacto knife, the Polish remover of Niall, the nail polish removers. There's that one. Oh my god, the piece of resistance, which obviously is the cap to the Crazy Glue. It's so good, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, I loved all that stuff. It was ridiculous, and of course it's all stuff that sucks for Lego. They had like a 9-volt battery in there. Like everything was like scaled to Lego, which was amazing.
Yes. Well, and again, like I mean, the creativity involved in this. Oh, so yeah. Oh, Jimmy's messing with me too. This is Troll JT Night. I love it. He's like, I didn't. Basically saying he didn't know.
Should we change the show title?
Seriously, yeah. Movies we're thankful for. Parentheses Troll JT. Yeah. He's talking about the fact that I ruined it for him, that it's not Harrison Ford voicing Indiana Jones in The Great Circle, but yeah, just the creativity involved. I mean, it's like I would love to be like a fly on the wall for the writing sessions of this movie, because it really, I mean, man, if you have epilepsy, man, you're fucked in this movie, because it is, holy shit, is there stuff flying across the screen? Like, I mean, there's never a slow moment. I mean, it's, and
yeah, it takes a bit to get used to that, honestly. Like, that's one of those kids movies things though, where I guess kids have no attention span, so the jokes gotta like come flying at you super fast.
Yeah.
But it does give it rewatchability. So like every scene is crammed with jokes. Like, even when they like gather up all those people in oh come on, what's Princess Unikitty's thing called? Well, the dome is just called the dog, which I love.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's a whole character we skipped right over too, is Unikitty. Alison Brie voices her and does a fantastic job. When she gets pissed at the end, oh my god, I love it.
Right.
But yeah, like all those minifigures, like Michelangelo, like okay. Yep. 2002 NBA All-Stars, which were real figures. They actually did make those. Yeah.
Some of the things, some of the characters they busted out, I was like, oh my god. It was, number one was, oh my god, I forgot about that one. And number two, like, other than that, it was, oh my god, they made that as a Lego minifig.
Like,
you're like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, like dumb jokes, like when the police invade and Shaq is like, y'all ready for this? Oh no, they were ready for that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So since we're talking about, movies we are thankful for,
Yeah.
what is it about this movie that, led you to choose it? Like,
Well,
what's the specific reason you say when you think about, I'm thankful for it? And like, why did this one come to mind as the one you wanted to discuss?
as soon as you say movies you're thankful for me, it comes down to something that like really strikes an emotional chord, or I think like is put it in stupid broad terms, but like it's good that it exists in the world for people. And like I said, the messaging, especially like Emmett is like the guy who doesn't fit in, or in audience terms, the kid who doesn't fit in, maybe isn't one of the cool kids, but they really want to be accepted. And I love the message of this movie that says, no matter who you are, you're special and you have something to contribute. And that's a message that people just need to hear sometimes. You feel we get stuck in this pattern, even as grown-ups, of like, and especially with the internet, you compare yourself to everybody else and you think like, I don't have their looks or their money or their talent or all this stuff. And I love this message that this movie has that says you've got your own talents and abilities and something that makes you unique. And it's the world is a better place because you're here in it. So just to celebrate that is like, I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about it right now. Like, I just love that message. And that's why I'm like, every time this movie comes on or everything I think about it, I'm like, I feel better just thinking about the messaging that was in this movie. So if it never existed, I feel like the world would be a little bit dimmer of a place.
Wow. Now I feel bad for my choice.
No, yours is valid for entirely similar but also different reasons. I mean, hey, movies are entertainment, right? Entertainment value counts for a lot. It's the one thing that actually spending that and alcohol went up during the Great Depression, was people just need ways to get away, recreation. And I think the movie that you're thankful for, which we are going to segue into, embodies that perfectly, because it's as the kids say, kind of meta, right?
Very much so. Very much so. And of course, my movie is 1980s Cannibal Holocaust. So it's
Great film.
Infamous for actual animal torture and death, unfortunately, but it's kind of like the progenitor of the Italian kind of torture genre thing. So I figured in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we would, in any case, sorry, just felt like doing that. So,
yeah, you might as well. I mean, I was going to go with Schindler's List, but
it's funny. Like, I actually like thought about like that, like all these movies I could, actually like make a joke of. I'm like, nah, I'll behave myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so the movie that I chose, I went with Fanboys, which obviously on the Virtual Cantina Network. But by the way, Jimmy, bro, Dream Theater Live at Budokan isn't a movie. He says, I know I spelled it wrong. Yeah, you did. But well played, sir. But yeah, I'm going with Fanboys. And again, I think
this is also one you jumped to very quickly. So why was this like top of mind?
Well, and again, I feel like there's one I'm missing, but there are a few movies for me that I like. You said, the rewatchability factor is big, and for me, something that always will get me is if it's a movie where, like, kind of like what you were saying about the Lego movie, like it's like uplifting, and it's not too heavy, and it does have that that message to it. And I think for me, Fanboys is one of those movies where every time I watch it, I'm just like, I'm happy. and I enjoy myself, and it never gets. Every once in a while, you need a movie that's not too heavy. So even in the parts where it gets a little serious, it doesn't drop you down to where, oh man, like you're bummed. They kind of like it happens, they gloss over and get back to the fun parts, And I just I think the other thing for me is that it's relatable. That sort of idiocy. Hey, let's drive across the country for Star Wars. I mean, we've kind of done that. We drove to Orlando from Cleveland, Ohio for Celebration in 2017. We've road tripped for concerts and things like that. And it's just one of those things, like the very first time I saw it with Arizona Mike, and I'd seen that it was talked about for quite a while, and it took a long time for it to come out. So it was kind of like bogged down in production for a bit. Yeah. David O'Neill, great to see you, man. Says, you Kirk loving Spock sucker. Like, yeah. When it finally hit theaters, I was so excited to see it. I'd seen like a short trailer and stuff. And Arizona Mike and I went, and like I was just laughing my ass off the whole time because I could totally relate to it. And it makes being a nerd like I think people that are not in the nerd culture that watch it, I think it kind of explains why we are the way we are and why it means so much to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very informative for people who aren't familiar with this sort of fan community. And again, it's kind of like an uplifting thing. It's like, best friends doing stuff for their best friend. And it's just, I feel great when I watch it, man. And I really, really enjoy it. And let's face it, it's funny as hell.
Oh yeah.
And I like that there's a lot of humor in there, Easter eggs that you got to be a Star Wars nerd to get, because it kind of feels like it's our movie. But still, the greater public, the greater public can still enjoy it, of course. But it's just cool to know all these, and like, the different actors and stuff that pop up. Like, people might go, I was just about to bring that up, David. He says so amazing that they got the great cameos with Carrie and Shatner. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like,
and Billy D.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the average moviegoer might kind of look at it and go, hey, is that? But then we knew, like, oh, dude, yes. And the lines, where they're escaping the hospital. It's like, I love you, and Carrie Fisher says, I know. Like, I mean, it seems obvious, but it was like kind of like, a love letter comedy to fellow nerds.
Exactly.
So,
it was, I mean, this is a type of movie that I think it's been done many times, the whole like road trip movie format and everything, but to be specifically about Star Wars, one, perfect for the Virtual Cantina Network, so thank you for that.
Yes.
But
right.
I mean, like you said, it kind of crosses over where like general audiences, yeah, it's a road trip movie and it's a buddy comedy. Okay, great, that's fun. But if you're a Star Wars nerd too, of which there are many, then you just get that many more jokes. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now the one bit that's a bit far fetched is that Kristen Bell would ever be, in a nerd group like this, but be that as it may.
But that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. It makes me believe. It gives me hope.
Right? We're all those nerds that wish someone like Kristen Bell would be in our friends group and we could, hook up with them someday.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, dude, she's definitely one of my huge celebrity crushes. So it doesn't hurt that she's in the movie as like this, the girl who falls for the nerd. So
yeah.
Because I mean, and that's another thing for me. It's like, oh, that could totally be me. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, my wife is into some of this stuff, so she's not on, the level of Zoe and Fanboys, but she's into some of this stuff. So I kind of, landed my Zoe in a way. But
okay. Nice recovery there. Nice recovery. When you started with my wife is into some of this, but she's not on the level of, I was like, don't say she's not on the level of Kristen Bell. Do not put that on audio.
No, the character, the level of nerdiness of the character.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Much better.
It was, yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just such a fun movie to watch, and every time I watch it, I'm always reminded of it, of like, man, I have a good damn time watching this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
you know what's funny is there's actually some similar messaging between our two picks, because I mean, what's this movie about? Really, it's a bunch of outcasts who kind of find acceptance, like they find their tribe and they end up finding their where they belong in the universe, so to speak, by the end of it. The flash forward at the end, and they're successfully doing what they want to do, and they've got a bunch of their own fans for what they do. And it's the same message of just being told, like, hey, you're okay exactly who you are right now, and you don't have to worry about trying to be something else.
Yeah, they found their Death Star, is the way that
yes, thank you. I was blanking on the quote because you've seen it a lot more frequently than I have. So,
yeah, Hutch says, you got to find your Death Star. He's like,
by the way, audience, in case you don't know, if you've never watched a movie with JT, don't bother, because if it's something that he loves, he is going to quote the thing throughout and probably ahead of the actual line. So you'll never get to hear it for the first time anyway.
I do get excited to admit. I have to admit, dude, it's one of my favorite.
You don't do it in theaters, thankfully, which is nice.
No. I have to admit, it's one of my favorite pastimes is to get some bourbon or some beer or something, and just have some drinks by myself in my man cave and put on one of my favorite funny movies, and just quote the ever living bejesus out of it. Just that it's like so relaxing. Like, oh my god, it's so.
Hey, maybe that'd be good bonus content. We've been talking about how to get Blazing Saddles onto the show. Maybe what we do is we do a watch along, but all we do is we just turn down the sound and then we recite it all from memory. I think we could do that.
And we'd be damn close.
The copyright, doesn't it?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, it might. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to get my music podcast pulled from Spotify for using music because the intro track has like 30 seconds of Dream Theater music. So who knows what they're pulling these days? It's only been like it's only been 5 years that I've been using it. Now all of a sudden Spotify's like, oh, you copyright. I'm like, fuck you. So, so Joseph Wren says, when people ask me why I don't like The Big Bang Theory, my answer is always, have you seen Fanboys? If we're going to make a movie about nerd culture, it's the best example in my opinion. And Nick Hall says, I agree, Joe. It's the standard. And Nick Hall also says that with the quoting, he says, so how I am with the Austin Powers movies. They're eminently quotable, man, especially Fat Bastard. But yeah, I think, again, I think the relatability of Fanboys is kind of what does it for me, because, you and I, we do have kind of like a little crew of nerd friends. And when we get together, it's like, you have those individual personalities that kind of form the collective sort of thing. And so, especially with me being in a band, I can kind of relate to that sort of thing. And it's just awesome, because I think one of the things that I think is excellent about this particular movie is that it would be really easy to do it poorly. Because as you said, the buddy road trip comedy has been done to death. And then if you're going to rip on Star Wars, like, it's kind of low hanging fruit. Like, if you're going to rip on Star Wars and Star Wars nerds, like, it's kind of low hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. So if it was handled heavy handedly, it would suck, because you're like, well, what is this? Like, I get it. I'm a Star Wars nerd. It would feel like we were being made fun of.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Instead of what it actually is doing, which is making us feel like we're actually cool. When everyone else thinks we're nerds, we're actually the cool kids, is how we feel.
Yeah. Because now there was punching down on Trek, though,
which was funny.
As much as we love to quote it, but come on, we love our Star Trek too.
Yeah,
we did a whole show about the Wrath of Khan, so clearly we can cross fandoms. But Fanboys, nope.
by the way, I literally hadn't watched it since we did our episode about it. I always forget how ungodly good that movie is. That is just, wow, what a kick-ass movie, man. I'm thankful for it, but I wouldn't, talk about it here. But anyway, yeah, it's like it makes being like the nerd cool, which doesn't happen very often. And it makes knowing all this Star Wars stuff cool. I think that was like the only thing that surprised me was like the couple times when they yeah, I mean, David O'Neill he says, I think this is a love letter to Star Wars nerds. It's making fun of the Trek nerds. Like, yeah, how did my wife and I talked about it? I think we said Star Wars fans are nerds, but Trek fans are dorks, I think is what we said. Like, it's
true. It's true, but it's just weird in a movie that's all about celebrating the awkwardness of being in part of one fandom to then shit on another fandom for being awkward.
I know, right?
Like,
right.
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate our weirdness, but your weirdness is too far.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but
Although
so
having been in both communities, though, I feel that though. I see some of the things that Trek fans do, and I'm like, oh, people, come on, man, we're kind of pulling for you, but you just keep being weird.
Well, and that's the thing that's strange. It's like, because I like, Star Trek. I mean, admittedly, I'm pretty much biased towards the original stuff with Kirk and Spock and McCoy and all that kind of thing. But it's weird how Star Wars does seem cool, whereas Star Trek does seem dorky, and I've never been able to figure out why. It's just I don't know. I think because like maybe it's because like Star Trek is rooted in actual science in a lot of places. Maybe it seems like
Could be.
too, whereas Star Wars is like you can suspend disbelief because the hyper, like light speed and lightsabers and the Force and all that. It's like, so I don't know. Yeah, David O'Neill. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch. His arms the dark side. Join the dark side.
Is this Seth Rogen's best role? What do you think?
Which one?
Or best roles? Yeah.
That one. Look at that, Jimmy. I'm gonna drink some bourbon and beers and quote my favorite movies. He says, I'll come over for that. Let's go. We'll get it on the calendar, dude. Believe me, I got plenty of room down in the man cave. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on Fanboys? Because I know you like this movie a lot as well. I mean, not as much as I do, obviously, but
I think one of the things it has going for it most of all is, like you said, rewatchability. It, like, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, and I felt like some of the jokes could have been better, like they just didn't hit like they wanted to. But then when they're coming up, and it becomes, I don't know, its own kind of charm, I guess. Like, the punchlines might not be any better than the first time you saw them, but when you know that they're coming, they get funnier for some reason.
Yeah.
So like some of the stuff in there is like, I don't know. I'm not enough of a film critic to have the words to explain it, but like you watch this thing all the time, and it's not like, oh God, this one again. You're like, oh, I know what's coming up, and that makes it funnier. Yeah. And that is so key to a comedy, especially because the joke can only land the first time once. So if the joke falls apart, if the joke is only funny that first time, then it's you've lost all your rewatchability. And this instead is, one, like I said, the jokes are great, and two, especially in this fandom, we know the hype around like a new Star Wars movie. As much as people say that they're not hyped for Mandalorian and Grogu, I call bullshit. As soon as the first full trailer comes out and we start getting an idea of what the story is, we are all on board, and we are going to have like a full 6. Well, I don't know. Was it probably Avatar is going to get the trailer? Maybe the Super Bowl. I don't know, but it's going to be at least like 4 to 5 months of hype around the thing, and we are all going to be pumped for that thing. Yeah. So the premise of this movie is something that we can all relate to if you're watching the show right now, and that alone just makes it like you said, it's like the audience members are on screen. Like, those characters are so relatable to us. So we're like, yeah, I could totally imagine being the people cramming in that van, and also loving the fact that the dude turned over his entire van to nothing but Rush tapes and R2-D2.
I want that van so bad.
That I mean, we've seen it at Celebration. It's got its own following now. It's awesome.
Yeah. I want to recreate that so badly. Steph said, you can have it as long as you do all the work yourself. I said, that's fine. Oh, you're going to make it run and everything? I'm like, what, you think I'd really get one that doesn't, like, I'm going to get one that I have to put brakes on and all that crap? No. I just got to get all the pieces parts and, getting the rush tapes.
I was going to say, are you going to airbrush the art on the side as well?
Well, dude, this is me. Do you think I'd be happy if it was different?
You've never owned an airbrush in your life, so that's why I'm wondering.
That's actually not true. I just was very bad at it, and it was messy, and it was too expensive for me to upkeep, so I got rid of it. But that was when we were at Oak Trail, man. Look, John Phillips, good to see you, man. He says Seth Rogen never does anything good. John, watch Fanboys, and he's really funny in it. He plays a couple different roles, so I think it's like 4 or something like that. See, David O'Neill says, get a wrap. Yeah, see, I could just do that. That's nice and simple.
That's not doing the work yourself.
Yes, it is. I ordered the wrap.
Are you going to put the wrap on?
Why? If I order it, they put it on for you.
No.
Yeah, they do. There's
the way you're phrasing it, I thought you'd like buy it from a website and then it would show up at your house and then someone would have to apply it.
I can, but I'll have somebody do it professionally so I don't screw it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after my misadventures with the stripes on my car, you don't want to do that yourself.
There you go. See, but yeah, dude, and I think the movie ages well too. That's the thing. It's like the jokes are still funny, and it's. I think people who haven't seen it, even though this is over a decade old now, I think like it's still funny to them, and the jokes still land. And I think
that was one of the genius things was it was a flashback movie when it came out. It came out what, like 2008 or 9, I think.
I think so. Let me look that up. Yeah,
and it's based around 1998, so it's perfect.
And I think 2009, February 6th of 2009. I think you really hit on something, when you talked about the fact that it plays into the excitement of a new movie, and it really look. David O'Neill, so David O'Neill says, what, Blazing Saddles didn't age well? I swear to God, Dave, I don't know if Spencer was serious or not about Blazing. He kept poking at us, pushing us to Blazing Saddles, but said, oh, well, it can't be on the network. And all I have to say to that is bullshit. There we go. See, I got a Blazing Saddles quote in there. There you go. But yeah, it's like it really does a great job of showing how it used to be for us. Because I mean, let's face it, not to be like old curmudgeon guy, but it is a little different than it was back then. Because when we would go to the theaters to see the prequels, that's what it was like. People dressed up and all hyped up, and waiting in line, and lightsabers and cosplay everywhere. Like it was an event, and especially episode 1, because it was the first movie in 16 years. And so you're going, as far as we knew, I mean, it was much bigger than I think than episode 7, because episode 7, we had a precedent. Episode 1, we did not. All we knew with episode 1 was we were never going to get Star Wars in the theater ever again. And then all of a sudden, okay, there's a new trilogy. You were like, what? It's like something you never thought would happen again. So with episode 7, you kind of understood that feeling, even though you were super hyped because you figured the story was over. But nothing was like episode 1, and they even mentioned the movie. They called it the most anticipated movie of all time. And I'm like, I think there's an argument to be made there. So, yeah, David O'Neill says, we camped out for episode 1 on and off for like a week. Yeah, I would have done it if I could have. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think I told the story on the show before where I had a friend who was attending Ohio State at the time, and he and his dorm mates, they carried their couch to the movie theater so they could camp out, and they just like slept on their couch for days to be one of the first people in line to get into the theater for the stupid thing.
See, and I think that plays into why I like this movie so much, because that's something you and I would do.
Oh yeah,
at the time, if we had the PTO and we were able to do it, I mean, I would have done that in I mean, it wouldn't have been a second thought. You know, my wife be like, "You're doing what?" I'd be like, "You know exactly what I'm doing." She's like, "You're an idiot," but she'd know she couldn't talk me out of it. She would know this is happening. This is not up for debate. Like, and just like them, like they decide to go across the country, and I think that's another thing that I wanted to talk about is like it actually has a lot of heart to it. There's the friendship angle, but I think bringing in the fact that they're doing it for Lucas because he's got cancer, and they kind of they don't belabor the point. They bring it up just enough to where you're kind of like, okay, there's an immediacy to why they're doing this. And I think it's so well written for that reason, because it's like you have that emotional anchor. It's not just a dumb comedy. I mean, at its heart, I suppose you could say that, but they kind of added some stakes to it and added a little bit of immediacy to the quote unquote mission. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. It really grounds the whole story, because if it was just, hey, these people are so nerdy that they're going to go through all of this just to break into a movie studio, I guess, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Lucasfilm, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know it's Lucasfilm, but I don't know what to call it generically other than say like, yeah, they're going to break into a production facility of some kind,
Right.
just because they're huge fans and they just gotta see it. No, the whole, they would be like stalkerish kind of shitty fans if they were just doing it because they couldn't wait until the movie came out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah, if the dude's literally not going to live to see the premiere, then yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that was such an intelligent writing choice, I thought. For that exact reason, like you said, it would kind of just be like, okay, well, all of us would, can we go steal a print of Mando and Grogu, or I'm sorry, Mandu and Grogu? Can all of us, would all of us do that just because we don't want to wait till May to see it? Well, yeah, but to do it the way that they did it, which is saying, hey, our best friend isn't going to live to see this movie. Like, we can't have him know that it exists and not see it is pretty awesome. And like, again, I think they do it just enough. They don't belabor the point. And the way that, his last appearance in the movie is, like, it's not like they say, oh, he's dying, or, he's going downhill. It's just, they break in and they get to see it, but only him, which I think is kind of perfect,
Yeah.
And then he's like just sitting there at the campfire and he's talking to Bottler and he's like, yeah, man, I'm good. Right. He's happy. You could tell he's content. And it's kind of like just implied that that's, he's fulfilled and he feels like at peace. And then it goes to, the end. And of course the hilarious final line, like, hey guys, what if the movie sucks?
Right.
Like
the great capper.
I know, the fact that they threw that in there, man, like, holy shit, man. So
I think we've quoted that at like every pre-screening dinner that we've been to for every Star Wars movie since.
Oh, dude. I mean, but
we wrap up our meal to head to the theater with, hey, what if the movie sucks?
Dude, what Star Wars fan hasn't? If you've seen Fanboys, I mean, it's almost like, I mean, come on. It's you can't not say it. I mean,
I really hope that Disney and Lucasfilm kind of like acknowledge this movie and its place in the fandom too. I would love it if, they have like a screening room, for example, at Celebration a lot of times. I think Fanboys needs to be in that rotation.
They've done it, I thought. David O'Neill, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they've had Fanboys screenings before at Celebrations. And this was back when they would show.
I forget who made this.
Kyle
Newman.
God, what's his name? I think that's it. I always forget the guy's name. Yeah, Kyle Newman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like a celebrity in the fan community. So it's cool to see him getting his props for this. Because I mean, we all enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so well done, man. And it, I don't know. It makes me feel good to be it makes me proud to be a Star Wars nerd. You know what I mean? Like, it's and I think it really gets to the heart of it. That being a Star Wars nerd doesn't mean that you're uncool or that you're this complete and total outcast. It's like, nah, man. You just really, really, really David says, I'm not sure. I've seen it at cons, but I can't remember if I've seen it at a celebration. I could swear I saw that one time at one of the celebrations. I'm almost positive, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's just I want it to happen so bad. Like, so, but yeah, I think it paints the perfect picture of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, I mean, we're normal people and we're, you know, perfectly functioning members of society and we're cool and stuff, but we just happen to, we just happen to love Star Wars that much. So,
yeah, both things can be true.
Yeah. So, all right. So, if you want to put me in solo mode, I will bring up my honorable mention.
Han Solo mode. And
yes, Han Solo mode. Yeah. So, and I only have this up as an honorable mention because we've talked about the movie several times on the show already, but I would be completely remiss if I did not bring up Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. When it's not only my favorite Star Wars movie, but it's my favorite movie, period. It's the one movie that whenever I think of, oh goddamn, I love that, it's the one that pops up. And I think it's the one that I have probably the most vivid emotional memories of. And, you know, I've told the story on the show a few times about it, but, you know, it bears repeating. But, you know, when this came out in 2005, you know, AJ and I had seen episodes 1 and 2 in the theaters, but we hadn't gone together. We had kind of like gone in different groups and stuff like that. We hadn't done opening night for them at the very least. And so, you know, episode 3 was the first time we had gone to see, you know, a Star Wars movie on opening day since 1983, Return of the Jedi, which was AJ's first time seeing Star Wars. And so it was like, God, it would have been 22 years. You know, I was 7, you know, he was 4. And so it was like one of those things, like it's like you're completely revisiting your childhood, but now you have this like appreciation and understanding of what you're getting into. And so I just have the strongest, just most vivid memories of, you know, waiting for that movie and getting to do it with AJ, and just, you know, the way we were so unbelievably hyped for it. And, you know, we went to Valley View Cinema, and which is a very, very big like movie theater by us, and there's a Quaker Steak and Lube in the parking lot, a couple other restaurants. And so we were eating at Quaker Steak and drinking beers and doing shots. And I mean, almost every show was sold out for the midnight show. And, you know, that was really the last time that, you know, like I mentioned earlier in the show, that people were doing the cosplay and the lightsabers and all that kind of stuff, like, and just losing their minds. And there weren't any restrictions on, oh, you can't have, you know, masks on, you can't have weapons and all this shit. Like now, basically just show up to the movie in your street clothes or else you're getting kicked out. And it was just fucking great, man. And it was also the fact, you can jump in here, AJ. You don't got to keep me in solo the whole time. It was also the fact that I was so unbelievably excited for the movie, and it actually exceeded my expectations. So I think that in and of itself is a huge factor. You know, I've said it so many times on the show, but I love how they handled, you know, Anakin's transition to Vader. You know, just and every time I watch the movie, I'm like, oh man, don't turn. I'm always rooting for him to not turn, even though I've seen it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It still makes me feel the same way. Mm-hmm. And it's just I think the great time that we had and all the cool shit that was going on leading up to the movie and then the night of the movie, I think that's so imprinted on me that anytime I watch that movie, I feel great. And that movie feels the most Star Wars to me because I have the most emotion around it.
You know, that's an interesting take that I hadn't considered, as far as like what qualifies as a movie we're thankful for. And it sounds like a lot of what you're thankful for with episode 3, like you said, is tied to your first viewing experience.
Yeah.
Your memories of seeing it. So it's not so much it. I mean, the movie's great as well, but it's also, if those circumstances hadn't surrounded your viewing experience of it, then it wouldn't be so like indelibly linked in your mind.
Yeah. Well,
And
I have
think
that.
That's a good point, though. Like, time and place matters for a lot of stuff. Everything hits different at one time or another. And in episode 3's case, for me, like, I have all those same memories. Obviously, I was there. But also, now that we're 20 years on from that movie and you rewatch it over time, and it's weird to say that it has like a nostalgic feel to it, but we've been so far removed from the George Lucas era of Star Wars now that when we go back and watch the most modern George Lucas Star Wars movie, it's got a charm to it that just the new ones can never quite be the same because it's not George Lucas making it.
Yeah.
Which is no slight on the new movies, but it's a style of filmmaking that is unique to him. So
yeah.
It's like comfort food. It's like coming home again, to come back, and the lines are cheesy and the dialogue is bad in some parts. And yeah, we know all the cringy bits of episode 3, and they have their own charm about them now because it's been enough time that nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Yep. Yeah, I think
I should have known that you were going to mention that, by the way, because you've had that wallpaper up the whole time behind you.
I kind of teased it.
That on?
Yeah, I kind of teased it. Yeah, I mean, it's just such like it's a perfect storm. I think, it's the memories and again the lead up to it was awesome too, because I was obviously thrilled for episode 1, and then I loved episode 1. It's like, oh, I can't wait for episode 2. But then, going into episode 3, it was, damn it, another trilogy's coming to an end. Like, we're not going to get any more Star Wars after this. How is he going to turn to Vader? Because you're seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
There was just so much around it. And again, to have my expectations exceeded was, I mean, I left the movie theater just blown away. Just absolutely blown away. It's so emotionally heavy for me, that movie. And the music works perfectly with it. And the whole thing is just, it's just a brilliant movie, in my opinion. And it's kind of like, it's almost like my anchor to my Star Wars fandom. I mean, I would always be a Star Wars fan, but something about episode 3 is like that. If I'm ever doubting if my fandom is wavering, if I pop in episode 3, I realize, no, it's not. Because I've got this. Like, this is Star Wars to me, and it's like Star Wars can still give me that feeling. And then when I watch it, and then I branch out and go watch other stuff, it's like, okay, it's kind of back. It's like it's like refreshing to me, and it's always a reminder of everything that I love about Star Wars. And I mean, to me, Star Wars is one of the most fun things in my life. People who know me, they always laugh. They're like, oh, John only loves Dream Theater and Van Halen and Star Wars. It's like one of the 3, Cleveland Browns too, but it's one of the 3 or 4 things that really define me as a person. And so to have that, you called it comfort food, earlier, like that, it's awesome. And that's what episode 3 is for me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it too. That's it. I think it's been too long. When's the last time you saw episode 3?
A couple months ago.
Okay, so pretty recently then. Yeah. I was thinking back. I swear we could do a list of movies that we love that we haven't seen in forever. Because like the original trilogy, we know it front to back, we think. But when's the last time you actually made a point of watching it?
Yeah.
Like I don't know the last time I saw episode 3 deliberately. Like I went to Disney Plus, or actually it's the only way I can see it now. I don't have anything that plays discs.
Right.
So I'm not busting out my Blu-rays anytime soon. And actually said, I'm going to watch Revenge of the Sith. That would be fun.
I was in a shit mood a couple months ago, and I was like, man, I haven't watched Star Wars in a while, and I was scrolling through Disney Plus. I was like, you know what, I'm doing it, and it just perked me right up. I was like, God,
It's
this
funny
is good.
because this is like not the feel good chapter.
No, I know, right?
I just really, I just get a warm feeling in my heart every time I watch the Republic fall and Anakin become Vader and Padme die.
It's the crispy critter scene, man. Let's go. like,
I just love knowing that those kids got, cut down. That's
the death of the younglings.
Yeah, nothing cheers me up like the slaughtering of younglings.
What a bright ray of sunshine in my day. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I said. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up as my main movie because again, I've waxed poetic about this one, a ton, but I couldn't let it go without saying. David, Anakin gets a warm feeling.
We do have to get a cheap plug-in, though. We do have to get a cheap plug-in for the Thursday night watch-alongs on the Virtual Cantina Network.
Yes.
At least annually, the OT and the prequels come up. Notice no mention of the sequels, though.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. I was thinking about those the other day and if they're aging well or not. And
it's slightly off topic to get onto that, but I have thoughts.
Well, yeah, let's do it on another episode because in case there's any negativity, I'd like to keep it positive tonight.
Well, the quick bit of stuff that I was going to say about it is topical since we've been bolting these little things on at the end. The whole news that came out with Adam Driver and that script about the hunt for Ben Solo. The fact that there seems to be a real fan interest in seeing that story come to light. Like, there you go. You talk about if people having a nostalgia for the sequels. I didn't think I'd see the day when people would hear about a scrapped sequel trilogy based project and be like, damn it, we wanted that.
Yeah.
So I guess, time does heal all wounds, and given, a couple more years, maybe the sequels will have their own redemption story.
No, I would say, yeah, I'd say there's 100% chance that happens. Because, I mean, think about how much everybody was crapping on the prequels when they came out and immediately after and whatnot. And now all of a sudden it's just, when you got Ahmed Best out to Celebration for the 20th anniversary of episode 1, like everybody was just, I mean, it was a love fest for the guy. And it should have been, because there never should have been all the hate and bullshit with it, previously. Episode 2, everyone was going crazy. And, now, I mean, look, I mean, the revisionist history with episode 3, I mean, it was the most popular of the prequels, and it was the one that got the least amount of crap back in the day. But it brought Hayden Christensen out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, Ahmed Best. Like, it brings these actors out who were just getting absolutely crucified. And now all of a sudden, with the passage of time, it's like, oh, we actually love them. And then they're back, and now you're even getting more content with them in it. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. And I think, that's another great aspect of episode 3 is that I think because it was the most accepted one, I think it kind of kept the torch at least slightly burning for the prequels, for all those years where people really weren't into them. And I think because people would go back and watch that one, it kind of got them to, and I have friends said as much. Like, oh, I'll watch the third one, but I don't like the other two. But then they've gone back since and come, those aren't as bad as I thought they were, man. Yeah.
Sometimes it's the best you can get. You're not going to turn haters into, fans necessarily, but the sting does come off, especially if it changes to something that they actually enjoy. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anyone who didn't like episode 1 to look at episode 3 and be like, well, I like 1 now. Like, you can put up with 1 because it leads into the thing you like, but I don't think you're going to turn any fans of or any haters of Jar Jar into, I love Jar Jar now because episode 3 happened.
Well, I don't know. I have some people that have changed their minds, and maybe it's a time heals all wounds type of thing, but
there is also a lot of that, though. I could see why episode 3 is the most popular, because people actually had the patience back then, I guess. I mean, yeah. So if you didn't like 1 or 2, but 3 did, I mean, it did a masterful job of capping off that trilogy and acting as the bridge, of course, between the prequels and the originals. So let it play out. You know, like nowadays where we review every episode as it comes out and talk about how I didn't like this. I didn't like this. Where's this going? They need to explain this better. We're like, it's one part of a story. See them all first and then decide.
Yep.
So yeah, I could totally see somebody who's into episode 3 looking more fondly on 1 or 2, or at least less negatively on 1 or 2, because then 3 explains maybe some of the pieces and why they had to be that way in those movies first. Yeah. Also having Darth Vader and lava and all the packaging and promo materials was pretty dang cool. So
right. Yeah, just I don't know. It's I just love episode 3, man. It's like like I say, I'm hugely thankful for it, and I know I've wanted to do this for a while on the show. We got to figure out how, but like I have a list of like movies that I consider for me are like perfect movies, and this one would be on there, you know. But sometimes I debate because there are some cheesy, goofy parts. I'm like, well, should I include it then if I can knock one thing or 2 things in there? But then I'm thinking, yeah, but that's kind of the charm of it. You know, like you said about, you know, George Lucas did them and there are cheesy parts and stuff, but that's what makes them so iconic for us. So,
and we've said it before, you know a movie is doing its job when you can see the flaws and you don't care.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So yeah, we'll have to do that sometime, like the whole perfect movies thing, because I'd be interested to get your opinion on if you have anything where you think it's like you just even if the rest of the world doesn't agree, if there's anything you have where you're like, you know what, I don't see any flaws.
I think I could kind of write your list for you at this point, but that could be interesting actually if we well, like this, we didn't actually really talk ahead of time to know what our picks were going to be, except in very minimal terms. So I think it'd be fun to try to write each other's lists and then see how close we are.
I don't know if I would know yours. I mean, I telegraph everything. Although I do have a bunch written down in my phone, and I know there's a couple you'd be like, you're not serious. Like, oh, I'm very serious. I'm very, very. Let me see. I'll revisit.
Well, you know, Human Centipede was an odd choice, but
look,
honestly,
man,
with the number of times you go on about that movie, I think it might be on your list.
Dude, that movie is awesome. Human Centipede 2, not the first one, the second one.
Oh,
that movie is awesome.
Now we're really off topic.
Well, look, man, I appreciate that movie because that's what I want in a horror movie. It's horrible in terms of like, it's like, so the content is so like, yeah, like you got to turn your head away from the screen. And it was so just visceral and gory that they had to make it black and white. Like, yes.
I wonder if a color print exists of that.
It does. And I think it's on like an overseas print. So you have to like eBay it or something. Ooh. So yeah, I'm getting a gift card for Christmas from work. Guess what I might be getting on eBay?
Jesus. All right. Well, what do we got coming up on the show?
Let's see. We have a couple episodes left for the year. Obviously, our next show is going to be on Wednesday, December 3rd. And we are actually, this is going to be good. I finally put it in my phone so that we can give the admins at the Virtual Cantina Network our topic well ahead of time. And our next episode is titled Need a Topic. So we're going to be I
love that.
Yeah,
I could talk about Need a Topic for hours.
Yeah, it's definitely great. Look at David. Perfect movies. Ernest Goes to Camp.
No, I think we'll definitely do something Christmas or holiday themed, I think, for that episode, because we only have 2 episodes left for the year, and we already know, tell the listeners what's coming up on December 17th.
That is our Christmas episode. Oh, wait, no, it's not. That is going to be the Nerf Herder Council 10th anniversary special.
That's
I
right.
I don't know how we forgot about that, but
that's going to be our fan hangout.
yeah, it'll be well. A fan hangout's got to be like on a weekend, so if people get drunk, they don't got to go to work the next day. But yeah, yeah, we are definitely gonna do a kind of a just really a retrospective on December 17th, because again, for those of you guys who don't know, that literally is almost to the day the 10th anniversary of the show. So we've been doing this for 10 years, which is just crazy. Because when I mean, I don't think a lot of shows make it 10 years, man. I don't know how the hell we've done it.
Slower release schedule.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
less content overall.
Yeah, exactly. Less effort.
Right.
David O'Neill says 10th anniversary. Congratulations. Thanks, man. Yeah,
but yeah, we'll go through the archives. We'll call up all the bits that got us denied interviews by anyone actually involved in Star Wars.
Oh God, the reject letters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what's crazy to think about? So when we came up with the idea for the show, first of all, we were at Celebration in 2015. And second of all, we've been around so long that we have covered and did a deep dive into every single Disney era Star Wars film as it came out. Not like a retrospect. It was like, so we've been around that friggin' long.
Yeah. Our debut episode was our reactions to The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah. David, no,
just bonkers.
You started out on Betamax. Yes, we did. So, but yeah, so we'll do that on December 17th, and then December 3rd will be our Christmas episode. We'll figure out something for that. And you know what? I'll just talk about A Christmas Story and why it's perfection. Why it
sounds like a retread. Awesome. No,
it would be a retread.
We will definitely be either watching. We'll have watched some sort of new Christmas movie, or talking about maybe we'll do a part 2 of movies we're thankful for, but it'll just be Christmas edition or something.
See, mine is too easy. You know what I was thinking?
I know.
We already did that one. I will forever die on that hill. It is an action movie that happens at Christmas. It is not a Christmas movie. Christmas is not central to the plot of that movie, and I don't care what anybody says. But anyway, part of me wants to do something with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but unfortunately, that would be a very Debbie Downer episode. Because
not a fan.
No, I find that to be one of the single most overrated movies ever, if not the most overrated movie ever.
Oh, well, since we did movies we're thankful for, maybe we flip the script and we go movies that shouldn't exist.
Well,
movies you like more than you should. We'll just piss everybody off.
How Christmassy of us.
Right?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Here's why you're a moron for liking this movie.
Grinch edition. Here we go.
Right, the Grinch edition. Oh my God. Yeah. So
you like Elf? Christmas. Well, here's why you shouldn't.
Yeah. Elf is okay. That's what we should do, is like get a list of like Christmas classics and like power rank them or something. Like,
could do that.
But some of them we haven't seen. We'd have to actually watch them. So in any case, yeah. So we are going to be back on Wednesday, December 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern time at all of our fine locations. So we'll be doing our Christmas episode, and then December 17th will be the Nerf Herder Council 10th anniversary show. So we'll be kind of just like going back and, waxing poetic. I used it twice in one show. That's really dumb. I should figure out another term. Waxing poetic. There's a third time. About 10 years of doing this stupid show. So it'll be fun. So might have some special guests on if we can get them. So once again, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. If you have not done so already, please make sure to click the like button, click the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell on YouTube if you're watching there on both our channel and that of the Virtual Cantina Network. We are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you'd like to get some awesome Virtual Cantina Network swag, just go to tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. And for some kick-ass customizable Nerf Herder console swag, just go to shop.nerfherderconsole.com. AJ, any last thoughts before we jump out of here?
Just recommended to everybody that you go and call up your own movie that you're thankful for and give yourself some of those feel-good vibes.
Yep. Couldn't agree more, man. And to everybody who's watching and listening, again, we're coming up on 10 years, and we're thankful for you, not to be a cheese ass, but we really are thankful for you guys. If there weren't people watching and listening, it would just be us hanging out. We can do that without jumping on a computer at a specific time every other week. So thank you very much for supporting the show, man. We appreciate it. We love you guys. So hope all of you have just a phenomenal Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll see you guys on the other side of that with some Christmas cheer and some 10th anniversary celebration and ringing in the new year of 2026. So until then, I am your host, JT, at Dogpound Jedi 2. He is AJ.
You changed your handle. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
At Drake Adams 579. We'll catch you next time.